Fun time podcast time.
So it's not like I'm going we talk for fucking 45 minutes and then it's all for nothing. Just talking.
Well, I might make that noise.
I need to start this fucking thing off, don't I?
You sure do, Mr. Cobley.
Let's have a podcast, listen to a podcast. Here is a podcast, listen to a podcast. Let's have a podcast, listen to a podcast. Here is the podcast, listen to the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cinnamon
Thanks, Mr. Announcer Guy. Think you might need to go for a little bit of a lie down there. Guess he was just a little starstruck, ladies. But who could blame him in the presence of cinnamon lampshade? Einstein was not a handsome fella. Nobody ever called him out. He had a long mustache to pull on. It was yellow. I don't believe he ever had a girl. One thing he missed out in his theory of time and space and relativity is something that makes it very clear he was never gonna score like you and me. He don't know about quark, strangeness, and charm. Quark, strangeness, and charm. Quark, strangeness, and charm. Quark, strangeness, and charm. Quark, quark. Quack, quack, quack.
Good evening, podcasters, or day, or whatever. You are listening. Well, I've gone over the thing, is that? So just hold it further away. Good evening, podcasters. Yeah, that's fine. Right. Hello, everybody. Why are you laughing?
Because you just recorded a version of the intro where you were significantly more enthusiastic and you said you didn't like that.
Well, that's because I don't like being too enthusiastic about things.
All right, then. Carry on.
Do you know what I mean?
All right.
Enthusiasm is bad.
I don't care what you mean. Carry on.
Okay, right. What was I saying?
You said, good evening, podcasters, and that's as far as you got.
Pretty much all I want to say, really.
Okay.
Can I go? No. Okay, right. This is Matt and Cobley's podcast. A podcast where we just... Well, I don't know, we spent the last 8 weeks arguing with each other, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were listening to Cinnamon Lampshade, who's Matthew's favourite
Solo artist,
yes, singing a version of Hawkwind's Quark, Strangeness and Charm to lead us into this podcast where we're going to try, for a period of time, to talk about science. The premise of the Matt and Cobley's podcasts, if you've been fortunate enough never to listen to either of us talk before, is that we try to talk about things that we don't know anything about. So that sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a premise that we have come to regret.
Yes, and lament.
And has been the cause of a lot of depression in both of us.
Arguments.
Yeah.
Self-harming.
Yeah. Loss of friendship, mainly.
Yes. Yeah. And hope. There's no hope.
Still, let's crack on. How you been, Cobley?
Yeah, just the same. That's just the same.
Oh God, you're not having a breakdown as well, are you?
No, I don't think so. No,
okay.
Just the same. You know, you look outside and it's just the same, isn't it? Nothing changed. Nothing really
changes. This is heartbreaking.
It's true though, isn't it? Nothing really changes.
It's all gone to shit.
Yeah, people talk to you, but then you forget about the conversations a couple of days after. So what? You know, why? What's the point? Yeah, you know, that's how I am, Matt.
Well, I'm just envisaging someone listening to this going, right, I know, for whatever reason they've decided to listen to Matt and Cobley's podcast. And then the first thing they hear is a whining little shit going, oh, it's all the same.
Don't call me a whining little shit. I'm just stating the things. I'm just stating how I'm feeling, Matt.
All right, then.
You can't just dismiss me. You can. You should. You should.
I grant you that you are allowed the full spectrum of emotions.
Yes, of which I choose to only have one.
Yeah, indifference.
Yes. So yeah, that's the answer to your question. How are you? How's it going?
I'm all right, I think. I think I might have gone a bit nuts. Well, the other day, right, I was at the train station and I was waiting around.
What were you doing?
You don't need to know why. I'm not
right.
telling you anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right.
And I thought to myself, you know, Matt.
Guess. I can probably guess.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, enough said.
Right. Sorry, go on.
I thought to myself, and this, by the way, is a verbatim quotation from my mind. Matt, you're not cool enough. You need to get yourself a bit more cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's
Now, I was delayed
Fair,
at a train
fair point.
station and I thought I'd have a wander around the town. And as I was thinking this verbatim in my mind, I wandered past an e-fag shop.
right. There's electronic cigarettes.
Yeah,
the
that's
fake
right.
ones.
And I thought, bingo, I'm going to buy me an e-fag. And it's horrible, really.
Was that?
Yeah, what it does is you sort of suck vapor into your face.
Yeah, I'm aware of like the
Yeah.
general concept. This is science, Matt, isn't it?
It is
I
science.
realise. I was just asking you how you were, and we're talking about science already.
Well, that's kind of my genius, I think. I managed to weave in stories from my life into the general theme of the podcast.
I guess that's why people describe you as an intellectual.
It is why people do that.
Yeah. Sorry. So you were there with your electronic cigarette. And
Yeah.
It was.
And, I'm starting to think it doesn't really make me look cool after all. Matt and Cobley's podcast does not endorse the smoking of cigarettes, or otherwise.
Well, it should endorse real cigarettes. That is cool.
It is cool.
You've seen those photos from the 50s, haven't you?
Yeah, the ones that say that cigarettes enhance your life.
Just
And
people like sitting around, smoking, looking cool.
they're quite funny, those adverts, aren't they?
Yeah, and just photos in general.
Yeah. There's one, I think, where there's a picture of a bloke, like a city bloke smoking, and it's just saying, like, doctors recommend. I can't remember the brand, but I don't suppose it matters. Doctors recommend it, though. I reckon it was Silk Cut.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Silk Cut. Doctors recommend it. This week's podcast is sponsored by Silk Cut.
Well, it's not. I wish it was. Yeah, they're not allowed to sponsor things anymore, are they? Cigarette companies.
Are they not?
No, they're not allowed to do much because if anyone glances at an advert for a cigarette, you obviously straight away you want to go and buy one.
Start
don't you?
choking.
Yeah,
Like a Jedi choking trick.
yeah. You run to the nearest tobacconists and buy as many
You're
cigarettes
just
as you can find.
compulsed
Yeah.
to go straight to a shop.
Yeah, and well, I always was.
That's led to a lot of later problems in your later life, hasn't it?
Yes, that's why. Yeah,
I think it's a shame though that
that's why I live inside this iron lung now.
giant island, which is exactly what you're imagining, listeners.
Yeah.
he's just trapped. He's encased inside a giant replica of a human lung made of iron.
It's just a shame that you have to edit out the horrible breathing sound that it makes every couple of seconds. But
It's a tough editing job, but fortunately you do it. But anyway, I do think it's a shame, and I don't know if you agree with me here, Cobley, that cigarette companies aren't allowed to sponsor things anymore, because I think it would be quite cool to see football players having to wear those warnings of like
yeah, like running around the pitch with like a
bloke with his throat open with a kind of speaking machine in it.
just like some rotten black lungs just on the back of a footballer.
Yeah.
I'd consider watching a match then.
Liverpool Football Club severely reduces your sperm count.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably libelous.
Shall we talk about something else?
We can try. Yeah, we can try.
Well, we've got to talk about science this week, so I thought what we could do is try to list all the things that we can think of that we think are science.
Things that we think are science.
Things that are science.
Well, loads of things.
Double science? That was a science, wasn't it, in school?
Double science.
Double science was...
Triple science was a subject.
Okay.
Astronomy.
Yeah.
Science.
Astrology. And astrophysics.
Yeah.
And Astro the dog.
Who the fuck's Astro the dog?
I don't know. I just pulled that out.
Was he in a cartoon?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't know what that is. I don't... I'm just trying to think of things starting with Astro.
Yeah, I can imagine this being like the most boring part of the podcast, a list of things that are science. I mean, I suppose everything's science, really, isn't it? You're biology, aren't you? You're just
I'm a mystery to science.
Yeah, okay, that was a bad example. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't just do a list.
Or could just say
Physics!
Physics, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and maths.
Maths, yeah.
French. Maybe.
That's language, isn't it? I suppose.
I've fallen into the list trap again.
There's a science to everything, Matt. You have fallen into the list trap.
Yeah. Lists.
Science.
Yeah,
it's the science of lists. Yeah.
This is where our podcast has come.
This is where nobody's listening apart from us.
Nobody's listening. Technology is a science.
It is, and technology moves on ever onward, an upward trajectory of technology,
blasting off into the future.
Yeah. What's your point?
Do you remember?
Sorry.
Do you know how nowadays when you listen to something on a computer or maybe on a phone?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you remember in the olden days when you had to use a cassette?
Yeah, I remember those days, yeah. Well, I was born in the 80s, Matt.
It's a good point I just made, isn't it, about technology?
What, moving on?
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, I suppose, people don't listen to cassettes anymore. They don't have to put cassettes in the cassette players and press play. They can just use the phone or the computer now.
Before that, it was just like a stone disc with a pelican on it.
Yeah. That's right, yeah.
I watched a documentary about that.
And before that, you had to go and listen to Beethoven.
Yeah.
Well, now you can just buy his albums.
Or you would at least have to do that dial-a-disc thing for him, and then you could listen to Beethoven over the phone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before telephones.
I don't know why I just mimed picking up a phone. This is an audio-only medium.
It's all right, Matt. There's only us listening to this.
That's fine.
So
it's not even us, really.
No, that's true. It's what a sad thought.
Yeah.
That not even we would listen to our own podcast.
So, I said so with such confidence and then had nothing.
So, I do remember cassettes.
End of section.
Yeah.
It's very likely, I think, that we won't have any experience to talk about science-wise other than science lessons at school.
Yeah, yes. I can see us falling back into that old trap.
Still, let's fall in it gracefully.
Okay.
Do you remember science lessons at school?
Yeah, some of them. Like a few of them.
Do you remember Van der Graaf Generator?
The band?
Yeah, good prog rock.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Steve Generator.
Steve Generator.
But yes, I do remember science lessons that were split into the three sciences. But biology, chemistry, and physics. Do you remember that? No? You forgot? Just tell me you forgot if you have.
Yeah.
You do?
Why was it called double science?
I think that was just the award, the grade for the certificate, the GCSE.
All right,
achievement.
you're doubly good at science.
Because you got 2 grades for it. It doesn't mean that you're doubly good.
You're doubly good. Yeah, okay.
My most memorable science lesson, Matt, I presume you'll have had the same lesson too, if indeed you weren't in the same lesson that I was in, was our chemistry teacher, who, for the purposes of this podcast, we'll call Mr. Ince. Mr. Ince, yeah.
It's a good name, that.
Yeah, it is.
Just make that up.
Yeah. We'll call him Kenneth Ince. Yeah, but we'll call him Mr. Ince. He had this lesson on hydrogen, where he'd squirt some hydrogen into a large test tube.
I thought you were going to say he'd squirt some hydrogen into the eyes of a child.
No, but that would be weird.
Yeah. Please continue.
So he'd squirt some hydrogen into a test tube, and then have a really long match, which he'd light, and then stick the match into the test tube, and it would make this big popping sound.
They were good, those long matches, weren't they?
They were my favourite type of match.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyway, the point was he was trying to prove that hydrogen makes a popping sound. Yeah.
I can do it too. I'm like hydrogen.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, in order for this to take place, he had to have this, I don't know if you remember, this massive fucking perspex shield blocking the possible injuries from hydrogen popping from the rest of the class and made everyone wear these giant goggles.
Okay, so it was like he was behind some kind of radiation screen.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was just
protect
making
the children.
hydrogen pop. Yeah.
What do you imagine he thought like the worst case scenario would have been there? Do you think the whole thing was expected to go up in flames and he was risking his life day out?
Maybe he was like utterly petrified whenever he had to do that lesson. He can get everyone with the goggles on.
The somber look on his face, placing the screen.
Thought, I hope this is the end of this time.
Yeah, hopeful look in his face. This could be the one that takes me.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Ince. He used to love that popping hydrogen. Yeah. He also,
do you think he did it in his spare time?
Well, I think he probably sat at home. He's probably doing it now. If you're really retired now, I won't say so.
Yeah, he's probably listening to this. If you're listening, Mr. Ince, I hope you're enjoying yourself.
And we're sorry for being little shits.
Yeah, I'm not that sorry.
He used to like making the room smell of purr drops as well. That's something else I remember he used to do. He used to like put some liquids together, varying
Oh, so it wasn't
solutions.
just like Febreze.
No, he didn't just spray the air with Febreze and go smell the purr drops. No, he put a couple of solutions together and the chemical reaction. I don't even know what they were, but the chemical reaction made the room smell of purr drops, and that made him really happy.
You should just buy some pear drops. It seems to save a lot of admin.
Yeah, but he's not teaching us anything then, is he? If he says, I've just nipped down to the shop and bought everyone some purr drops, would anyone like one? That's just offering purr drops out, isn't it? That's not like teaching science.
I agree, but that would be wicked though, wouldn't it?
It would. Maybe he could have combined the two and, made the smell of purr drops and then gave us purr drops.
Given the lesson some kind of cyclical quality. The smell of pear drops to the pear drop.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a deep thinker, Mr. Ince.
He's a good man.
He wrote that song, didn't he? About the elements. The elephant?
The Element song.
The Element song.
Yeah, that was like the periodic table, but to a theme tune, a tune. Yeah, it was like hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron...
water and beryllium.
Oxygen...
Hydrogen...
helium, beryllium, radioactive...
uranium,
plutonium...
I think Marillion was his favourite band.
Yeah. My favourite band were Pink Floydium.
Yeah, mine were the Arctic Monkeys.
I feel like we're alienating everybody more so than usual.
Yeah, including ourselves.
The periodic table song is a song
that Mr. Ince wrote.
That Mr. Ince may well have written, that he used to play to us every lesson. Was it every lesson? Every other lesson?
It's a bit like, in American schools where they recite the Pledge of Allegiance at the start of every lesson.
Oh, yeah, like they do, yeah.
In Mr. Ince's chemistry lessons, everyone stood up and recited the
periodic table.
Song. Yeah.
In the Element song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had like a little electric piano.
Yeah, he was really good on that piano, wasn't he, Mr. Ince?
He was in the wrong career, really.
I can just imagine him now sat in his bedsit with his little keyboard playing the periodic table.
I imagine he's had to downsize to a stylophone.
Yeah, he's got a fucking xylophone. Ding, ding. He's playing the periodic table song. The room smells of purr drops. And he's clonking away with one hand and popping hydrogen with the other hand. And weeping.
What other science teachers did we have? It was Mr. Gully, the physics teacher.
No, Matt, you have to use different names in the podcast.
Oh, sorry. Mr. G. Ully.
Okay.
The physics teacher.
Yeah, he was funny. He was a funny guy.
Yes, he had a voice a bit like that. And it was
God, I thought Mr. Gully had walked into the room then. I was just about to introduce...
Oh, he did. All right, Mr. Gully.
Introduce myself. It's me.
Strange thing for you to say, just saying he had a voice like this to introduce yourself. Bye.
To be honest, if Mr. Gully did walk into your apartment right now,
yeah,
it'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? Mr. Gully was just some science teacher with a beard, by the way. If anyone cares.
There's no story to this.
He was just a fucking science teacher and
he was
had a big
obsessed
beard.
with eggs.
He liked eggs.
Yeah, he liked eggs.
Yeah.
There's nothing to it. There's nothing in this bit of the podcast. This is it.
But if he
we're just remembering a teacher, describing him physically, and saying he's and fabricating an obsession that he had.
Yeah, he taught science, man. Get off our backs.
Let's talk about more science.
He liked eggs, didn't he?
He really loved eggs.
He really loved eggs. We asked him, what do you like to eat, Mr. Gully?
And he said eggs.
And he said, I like eating eggs. And that became like, I suppose, the 90s / early 2000s version of a meme.
amongst
within the group.
me and you?
Yeah, if it was on Facebook, if Facebook was around,
Yeah.
it would have gone everywhere. It wouldn't.
It wouldn't, no.
No.
Eggs.
But if Mr. Gully walked in now, it would be a bit strange, wouldn't it? How have you got in, Mr. Gully? Why have you got a key to Matt's apartment?
I think Mr. Gully would be a brilliant roommate.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah? You've only got one room.
Exactly.
They just crash on the floor.
Yeah.
this fucking 70-year-old retired physics teacher.
Yeah, I like that we're imagining all our ex-teachers falling on hard times and living in bedsits and/or the floor of my flat.
Yeah, you got Mr. Ince in his bedsit, Mr. Gully living with you like some fucking weird sitcom.
It wouldn't make a very good sitcom.
I don't know. Could make you eggs every morning.
Do you think he lays them?
Yeah, yeah. I seriously think that, Matt. Yeah, I seriously think that. I also seriously think that nobody's listening to us anymore, Matt. No, nobody's listening to us. We are
making
Mr.
ourselves
Ince.
laugh.
We are Mr. Ince on the xylophone.
Yeah.
That is a metaphor for us.
That's exactly what it is, isn't it? Oh, God, I wish I was dead.
So, Matt.
Cobley?
Yeah, that's me.
Hi, how you doing? Oh, we did that bit at
We've
the
done
beginning.
that. Yeah, I don't want to get into that again. Do you recall many moons ago? Like we're talking over a decade of moons.
Mm.
Do you remember?
That's at least 12 moons.
Many more, I believe. But anyway, do you remember being? I think we were in Warwickshire down south. It was in our uni days. We were visiting our friend Les down south.
Warwickshire's only down south, relatively speaking.
Well, everything's relative, Matt.
That's science.
That is
science.
That's science. But anyway, that's not my point. We're digressing now.
I'm sorry.
So anyway, we were down south, relatively speaking, and to see our friend Les, he's all right.
Friend of the show.
He's a friend of the show. I think he listens. He certainly pretends to.
How do you pretend to listen to something? I suppose
just
put your hand to your ear and go, ooh.
I'll just say, yeah, I listen to you boys all the time, which is what he says. So I take him at his word. I don't know. I don't trust him a lot, but I take him at his word on that. Anyway, I'm digressing again. Do you remember when we went to see him relatively down south, and I was so drunk and like so ridiculously drunk. And I think we were all like getting ready to go to sleep. We were like crashing on the sofa and stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you remember me saying to you, or saying to everyone that wanted to hear me, you know speckled hens, right? Do you remember me saying this? I said, you know speckled hens? I said, if a speckled hen lived in a speckled world, would it still be a speckled hen?
Right.
And it started like this discussion on this theorem.
Exactly, a theorem. And I think all good scientists, and I think you are
a good
honorary scientist,
yeah,
should have a theorem. And I think what you landed on there was what we've now come to know in common parlance as Cobley's theorem.
Yeah. Because if a speckled hen lives in a speckled world, it can't really be a speckled hen, can it? Because everything else is speckled. So why would it be a speckled hen? Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it posits a very vital question that we have to ask ourselves.
Does it?
Yes. Yes, it does.
What question does the speckled hen?
It's about speckled things.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. If something is something in a world where everything is that thing, how can it be defined by that thing that you said that thing is?
Yeah, that was my drunken thought.
That's very good.
It's good, isn't it? Don't think anyone's thought of that before.
There's a page for it on New Scientist, I think, with various contributors trying to get to the bottom of it. But I don't think anyone ever will.
No, probably not.
Speckled things.
Speckled hens, speckled world. It's not a speckled hen. It's just a hen. Just laying eggs.
Why call it a speckled hen?
Why? Well, you can't, can you? You can't. You can't.
In a speckled world, the word speckled wouldn't even be in the vocabulary.
No, because everything is that.
There could be this world that we live in now. Yeah. Could be
the one we live in right now.
Yeah, this one. Yeah, not any of the other ones.
Okay,
this one. This not
one.
The speckled world we were just talking about.
Right. Okay.
This world could be a somethingy world, but there's no reason for us to call it a somethingy world because everything is somethingy.
There's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Have you put something fucking weird in my drink, Matt? One of the most ambiguous conversation.
I might have put some poo in it.
What? What?
I didn't want to say spunk. When my brother was 8, he tried a science experiment.
Which brother? For the purposes of the podcast, call him...
Let's say Johnny.
Johnny?
He theorised that because when you put a tape in a VHS player, things come on the screen.
Yeah, listen, Matt, there's kids out there that might not know what a VHS player is. You're not being very thoughtful. Think of the kids, Matt. Think of the kids that listen to the cast.
Look, if there's anyone listening to this that doesn't know what a VHS player is, this podcast is not for you!
Yeah, that's not really explaining what a VHS player is, Matt. That's just belittling people.
Okay, so it's a kind of magic box.
That's patronising people.
Okay, it's a kind of science box.
It's still patronising people.
It's got all science in it, right? It's a box full of science, and it's got like a slot, and you put like a cassette, which is like a smaller science box, and you put that box of science inside the larger box of science, and then on what's called a television screen, which is like a kind of rectangular science box with a screen on it.
All right.
The science inside the box, the first box, is communicated with by the box that you put inside the science box, and then an image is transmitted onto the science box, aka TV, and plays back, say, Jurassic Park.
Okay, so it's the thing that was there before DVD players.
That's a better way of explaining it.
But then they're like little bricks that you put into the machine.
Yeah. So my brother theorised that if you put anything into the science box,
it might display
there would be
something
something corresponding that would come onto the television screen.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, and then what he decided to do is put a banana in it. And it worked.
It worked. Oh, he put a banana in a VHS player and it worked. Is that what you're trying to tell me now?
It worked in so much as something did come on the screen. It was just static.
I don't think... Well, I suppose that was to do with the banana in a way, but also not.
Static. Well, maybe there is static inside bananas. I mean,
there's probably...
Static on a television is background radiation from the Big Bang.
We talked about this last week, Matt.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Yeah. We did. But yeah, I suppose bananas conduct some form of energy, don't they? Because they are existing, so therefore there must be energy.
Something must have gone to the screen from that banana.
Anyway, I'm not sure whether the VHS player is the correct medium to display what a banana is projecting. Do you know what I mean? I think you'd need a more specialised machine to do that.
Yeah, well, we had to replace the VHS player in the end anyway.
I'm not surprised if he'd mushed a banana into it. Did he get a right good smacking?
No, I wrote a paper about it. I think it was published in... Science Weekly.
Well, Science Weekly, yeah, I get that delivered every week.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Every week.
Every week. Yeah, I have for a little while now. It tells me all about science. Every week. Yeah, but I must have missed the issue. I must have been on holiday. The issue that Johnny did his little thesis on bananas on VHS players.
I think
concluding,
we're being disingenuous here then, because we started this podcast telling people that something we don't know about. But you've now admitted that you get Science Weekly.
I know. I'm sorry, Matt.
You've never read it.
Well, I don't read it, do I?
Fair enough.
Just collect it. It's like people that collect coins. They don't
read what's
on them. They don't go and spend them. They don't go and spend the coins, do they?
That's true.
They collect them. So Science Weekly is for reading. I don't read it. I just collect it. Look, sometimes the covers look nice. Sometimes there's like a DNA helix on the front, or a big planet, or like a bone. Someone's bone. Sometimes that's been on the cover of Science Weekly. Why are you laughing?
I'm not laughing.
Yeah, you better not be.
How much money do you think you've spent in total on Science Weekly?
Don't know, I've been collecting it for many, many weeks. I wouldn't like to say. Let's just say that my house used to have 3 bedrooms. It now has none. It's now just a Science Weekly storage cabinet.
We should stop for some ads.
Yes, I need a sip of your Pepsi Max.
Cherry flavour.
Cherry flavour.
This week's podcast is sponsored by Pepsi Max Cherry flavour. Oh, no, it's not.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I wish it was.
Yeah. Roll the ad.
Papa.
Yes, little Tinsbury.
I don't understand how anyone could kill the one they love with a frying Batman!
I knew I shouldn't have had that depressing news report on. Listen, dear son, some people just aren't like you and I. Some people have a heart of stone, rather than a heart of honey and feathers. Like me and your mother, my beautiful wife, Prune. Anyway, if you'll excuse me, I just need to nip outside.
Oh, no problem, darling. I'll keep the seat warm for you.
Jolly good, jolly good. I heard the report. I think they're onto you. I can keep you here for a while, but it won't be long before they suss what's going on. I love you.
I love you too, and don't worry, I've got the perfect escape plan.
Elope with me, darling. We can have cocktails on the beach and eat Wall's sausages. Speaking of which, would you like me to make you some?
Oh, fantastic.
Sausages, sausages, Wall's sausages, sausages.
So yeah, sponsored by Wall's sausages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're getting a bit weird, those adverts.
They've been getting a little bit weird for a little while, haven't they? Not to criticise the sausages, the grand
Not
sausages.
to impugn the
I can see Terry,
quality
I can see the
Wall's
steam
sausages.
I can see the steam in his ears.
I don't know how he does that. It's weird.
No, he's
I think he's got a condition.
He's just a big guy. I think all big blokes do that.
Either that or his hearing aids are on fire.
Big muscly man.
Cobley,
Yeah.
what do you think the future will be like?
What do you mean? What do I think the future will be like? Probably much the same as it is now, but with more megapixels on my phone.
Oh, don't start whinging
Well,
like
I'm
you did
not
at the
whinging.
beginning of the
I'm not.
podcast.
And you
Oh,
asked me-
it's all the same.
You asked me a question and I'm answering it.
Do you not think we might have like space cars and robots?
Well, maybe eventually, yeah, but not in our lifetime.
What?
We're not going to be flying around in a space car in 10 years' time, Matt, with a bloody robot passenger.
Oh, right, and you've written my life off in 10 years' time, have you? Is that it?
No, I'm just, for an example, in 10 years. I'm not saying that's all you've got left. That'd be shit, wouldn't it?
TikTok. Be good to have a clock that told you how long you had left till you died.
Well, that would be like a bad progression in science, I think, if they managed to invent one of them. Yeah.
Would you buy one, though, if they were available?
I don't know, because on the plus side, it might make me appreciate life a little bit more. Don't know. Do you think?
I don't know. You're
You
not
might
you.
do that? No. And maybe it'd be worthwhile for someone else then. I'll probably just sit and watch it. You know?
Just a bottle of whiskey.
Yeah. And a xylophone. And my room smelling of pear drops. Yeah. And Mr. Ince lying dead by my feet. Because I had to find somewhere to live because my house is full of Science Weekly magazine.
Yeah.
It's all tying up nicely, isn't it? I reckon there might be robots, if in answer to your point.
I've been enjoying a lot of these phone and computer and whatever application things that respond to voice control and come back with...
I said, oh yeah. Not in an aggressive way like I said it just then. I was just like, as a means to...
You're just being conversationally supportive.
Yes. Yeah.
I've always wondered, when will it be that they start talking like what robots are supposed to talk like?
Which is like this all the time. Affirmative.
Well, I think...
Sooner or later, someone's going to program one that does actually do that.
Maybe they have.
That would be wicked.
Wouldn't know, would we, if someone had?
No, but I mean, I've not done any research. Who knows? And I'd have it like be a big metal thing with
Clunking around.
yeah, like made out of a bin.
Made out of a bin.
Yeah, I think like a tin bin.
Yeah. Bit in there. That'd be a nice robot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, would be great. I've lost enthusiasm with this conversational thread.
With what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I think best stick to the present,
I mean, we all know.
or in our case, live in the past.
Yeah, well, that's all we've got, isn't it? We don't have a future, me and you. There's only one thing waiting for us around the corner, Matt. A shallow grave. A shallow grave. I don't know what's wrong with me today, Matt. I think I'm a bit more miserable than normal.
Well, you know what? I think I know what's going to cheer you up.
What?
Because it's time for the section we do every week. Every week we do this, where we ask Cobley to bring to the table something from his own culture that is pertinent to this week's theme of the episode. So, welcome all to It's Cobley's...
No. Where's the theme?
Yes, well, as you know, the jingle...
Where's my jingle?
The jingle for the section is about to come right up now.
Let me just brandish some blades so that I can stab you if you fucked up again.
Well, you know what? I've really tried hard this week. I've
superficial stabs. I wouldn't kill you.
Just little slits,
just little slices,
just enough blood loss to make me pass out for a bit.
Yes, to make you think about what you've done. Yeah. Sorry, go on.
No, I've really put effort into it this week. I've actually hired some collaborators, some musicians, and I've put together a whole new arrangement of it. And I've really spent a long time on
no
this.
Kazoos?
No kazoos. No, it's a completely fresh, amazing theme tune to Cobley. And I think for once in your life, you will be proud of me, Cobley, because I've really pushed the boat out.
Well, you've kind of got me hopeful now, Matt. This is an emotion I don't really like. I don't really like having.
I don't want to big it up too much, but I think this is going to. I think this might just blow your mind. Play it.
Matt, what the flying hell was that? What was it? What was that noise? What was that noise? My ears, Matt, my ears.
That was a very well-respected band of Belgian throat singers. I had them flown in from Belgium. Yeah, that's right, from Belgium.
Right.
And I gave them the music that I wrote for it. The notes. I gave them the notes, and they read the notes and they sang them. And
Belgian throat singers.
Yeah.
I can't even really get mad at you, Matt. It's kind of it just sounds like really awful.
Spent a lot of money on flights and stuff to get them over.
How many of them were there? How many singers?
57.
57.
Yeah,
Matt. That's not what that's not what I wanted. I just wanted like a nice jingle, like the theme tune to the podcast.
Right.
I don't need some weird noises.
It's world music, Cobley.
I'm sure it is, but that's not
like something Peter Gabriel might do.
That's not my vision, Matt. That's not my Belgian throat singing. It's a niche thing, isn't it? Because I've never heard of it. But see, I can't be mad. I can't be mad because you've tried.
Right.
But please, for fuck's sake, just do a nice jingle with different instruments, no throat singers, you singing it, no kazoos, different instruments, lovely jingle. You're on the right track.
Can I have like one Belgian throat?
No Belgian throat singers. Tell them thanks, but it's all right now.
All right then.
Do you think you can do that for me?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
All right. Well, they'll have lost enthusiasm for the Cobley's culture section.
Oh, I don't know. Talk about Albert Einstein or something. He was German.
Well, yeah, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah, I'll do. There we go. End of section.
Well, that's just you're just making my sections into a joke now, aren't you?
Cobley.
Yes, my dearest and oldest friend.
Star constellations.
What, do I know them? Yeah. Yes, I'm aware of them. I know some of them. Yeah.
How do they get the stars to be like in like the position of like say a lion?
What do you mean? How do they? Where are we going with this?
How do they do that? How do they get it?
They? Who's they? What, the scientists?
Yeah, I think so.
Right, the scientists.
I reckon. Like scorpions and stuff. How did they manage that?
I think it's more like
There's one, right, and it's like a bloke with a sword and he's got a belt. I think his name's Onion or something.
Onion, yeah.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Well, no, not really. I think it's probably the other way around. I think it's probably people have looked at them, in the past, like the ancient Greeks and stuff like that. And,
Was it the ancient Greeks what did it?
Probably, yeah. Galileo and his mates. I think it's the case of astronomers looking into the sky and saying, that looks a bit like a crab, that, if you join the dots. So it can be called Crabby.
Right.
Crabby the constellation.
That's amazing, though, isn't it?
What? Naming groups of stars after things.
I mean, what are the chances of being that shape?
Well, I mean, the thing is, Matt, they're not really in that shape, are they? Like Orion.
Yeah.
He doesn't really look like a bloke with a sword, does he? It's not like an intricate...
Yeah, but if you join it, it does.
Well, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah, it does. I've seen it on a picture.
No, you've probably just seen an artist's interpretation, just someone drawing a man over some stars.
Oh, so someone's just drawn all over it.
That's probably I don't know. I can't tell what you've seen, but I'm just assuming that it might be that.
Right. So if I sort of drew over the stars in a different way, so it was like a jar of jam.
What if you drew a jar of jam over some stars?
Yeah, if I just drew that, yeah, with crayon, and then
whatever.
And then then I went to, I don't know, Science High Command.
Well, you'd have to tell the scientists, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So right, okay.
And I'd go, I could. So I could actually do that, and I could come knocking on their door and say, right, you lot, I've looked at your constellations and I've found them wanting. I have come up with a jar of jam. You should put that in instead of what was that one you said? Aurelum.
Well, so you want to replace a constellation with a jar of jam? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I think they probably say no. We'll stick to Orion.
Yeah, but what's to say my one isn't better?
Well, it might be better, but you'd have to get everyone to agree. And
yeah, but I reckon they would agree once they've seen my picture.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
Well, give it a try, Matt. I'm not going to stop you.
Are you not?
No. No, I won't stand in your way of you walking to Science HQ and declaring a new constellation a jar of jam. Has it got a name, or is it just a jar of jam?
Yeah, I think it's just a jar of jam.
Is it? Yeah, okay. Don't let me stop you, mate.
Oh, thanks, Cobley. It means a lot. I think we're friends again now.
I think we might be.
Yeah.
I think a little bit.
And speaking of being friends, I think, as I'm such a good friend of you, best friends forever and always, I should introduce you to my favourite science programme, which is, of course, Star Trek.
Oh, no, I'm not. No.
Star Trek. It's like a trek through the stars.
We're not doing this on the podcast, Matt.
Come on. It's wicked.
Don't try and sell Star Trek to me on a podcast or ever in any environment.
It's got a bloke with ears in it.
And I know that. Some of the original series from the 60s is interesting to watch. Full stop. That's for me, anyway. You're going to say you brought a DVD box set down and have to sit and watch it.
Yeah, it's good.
No.
Sometimes there's a blob in space and they have to shoot it.
See, you can't sell it to me. Like, no matter how good you are at explaining how Star Trek is, no one could ever really sell it to me.
Patrick Stewart from X-Men is in it.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't want to watch him over and over again every episode.
Worf's in it.
Who?
Worf.
I don't know who that is.
It's a Klingon.
I know what they are, but I don't.
They're the baddies, but he's a goodie in one of them.
In one of the episodes.
Yeah, the Klingons are the baddies, right?
Yeah,
but in
trying
Star
to kill
Trek, the Next Generation,
humanity.
A baddie is a goodie.
Whoa! Wow, I've never done that before.
So that's good, isn't it?
That's it. So I should watch Star Trek because
I think so.
A Klingon is a good guy in the Next Generation.
Yeah,
still not there, Matt. I'd still rather be watching that clock. The clock ticking down.
It would be good watching that clock.
Watching it go down, watching the seconds.
And the ships go really fast. Like faster than the speed of light, faster than Concorde.
Well, yeah, because it's science fiction, isn't it? So yeah, it would go faster than Concorde.
Remember Concorde?
I do remember Concorde.
It's good, isn't it?
It's like a funny shaped plane, wasn't it, from the 80s or whatever?
How come you can't make planes that go faster than the speed of light anymore?
What do you mean anymore?
Because, like Concorde,
What, Concorde didn't go as fast or faster than the speed of light.
Yeah, that was the main thing about it.
No, the main thing about it was...
Remember the posters? Concorde, faster than the speed of light.
I think you're getting mixed up with Star Trek. Concorde...
It travels at what?
I think it went faster than like your standard, what they call jumbo planes. I don't fucking know.
Jumbo planes?
Yeah.
That's a celebrity, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so you.
Yeah, I mean, the general concept of Concorde was that it would fly faster than your standard aeroplane, but it didn't. I don't think it was quite the speed of light, Matt.
What do you mean it wasn't quite the speed of light?
I mean, what I'm trying to say was it was a long way off the speed of light.
What? So according to you, Concorde goes at what? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how fast. I don't know.
58 miles an hour. I don't know. 58.
What are you going on
miles
about?
an hour.
What are you going on about, Matt?
I don't know exactly how fast it was, but that was like the selling point of it, though, wasn't it?
No.
Right. So are you telling me that the selling point of Concorde wasn't that it goes faster than the speed of light?
I'm guaranteeing you that the selling point. I'm telling you now that if Concorde went faster than the speed of light, it'd probably still be going now. It'd still be a thing. People would still want to travel faster at speed than speed of light to get
it goes
to places
so fast,
really
it
quick.
couldn't stop.
What?
Is that why it'd still be going? Because it goes.
No.
faster,
No, I mean it wouldn't have been
can't
grounded.
stop.
Concorde wouldn't have been grounded.
I still think you're wrong.
I know that I'm right.
Well, you know what? I'm willing to bet you that's exactly what it is, because you seem to be being very stubborn about something that's very obviously the case.
Matt, we're not doing this again. Matt, last week you gave me £320.
Yeah,
Matt,
well,
that's a lot of money.
to take out a loan, it's all right.
You know, I'm like starting to feel a bit bad, so I don't know if I want to bet you over something so stupid.
It's all right though, because I think, how willing are you to bet this? Because I think you're going to make a bit of an idiot of yourself.
Double or quits.
Seriously, you're going to double it?
£640 says that Concorde
But I'm just obviously
doesn't
right.
travel faster than the speed of light. What do you mean you're obviously right?
I'm obviously... everyone knows that about
Everyone doesn't know that, Matt. Only you think you know that about that.
You're an idiot. All right, then.
Right. Look it up. On
600 and what?
£640. Yeah.
Okay,
Shaking
right.
it.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
You idiot.
No, you're a fool.
Idiot. All I need to do is...
This isn't small change anymore, Matt. This isn't
Right,
small
you know what? I'm
change.
going to get like the poster of Concorde up on Google Images.
All right.
I'm going to make a fool out of you and Hume.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find it. TikTok, your fucking death clock's going down.
Concorde poster. Hold on, in fact. What was it like, the 1980s? 1980.
Oh,
Image search. There we go! Read and weep. Concorde! Faster than the speed... Oh. Sound.
Sound. That's right. Over twice the speed
It's
of
the
sound.
same though, isn't it? It's the same. Splitting hairs. It's the sound and light's the same.
Yeah, I think light might travel a little bit faster than sound.
Why are your ears bigger than your eyes then?
And now, my friend, with my newfound wealth, I must bid thee farewell, as it's time for me to leave and go home, back to the real world.
I think you're taking the piss a bit by saying it's the same thing. Speed of light,
Light and sound are the same thing.
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that light and sound are the same thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean, though. It's like
So you can hear that lamp there, can you now? You're having some kind of weird crisis of the brain. You can't hear that lamp. Well, you might be able to get close enough, but that's because it might be producing a sound. What I'm saying is that the light, you can't hear light, can you?
just fell over.
You pillock.
Trying
Trying
to hear the light.
Anyway, it's time for me to go now. Should we wrap these things up? Should we wrap up? If you like, dear listener, you can go to our website, which is www.mattandcobley. That's Cobley, Cobley. Matt, how you'd spell like a fucking doormat.
With two T's.
But with two T's. Yeah, but with two T's.
And not an ampersand, A-N-D.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And you can send us a letter, if you like, for us to read out in the next couple of episodes in the last episode of the series.
Thanks very much for all the letters we've been getting, mostly about you and what your dreams might be.
Well, we have to keep deleting those, don't we?
Yeah.
Fucking morons that keep sending those. Not that I'm insulting all of our listener group, just a vast proportion of it.
There's one guy that keeps writing letters into us that just keeps calling Cobley a bellend. I think you should carry on.
I'm going to find out who that is. And then he's going to know who a bellend is.
See you next week.
I'll like point to the one on his head and go, "That's a bellend," because he's a dickhead.
See you next week.
Oh, next week. Before we go, next week.
We always forget to do this.
Next week.
The theme of next week's
The theme
episode.
of next week, it doesn't have a theme, Matt.
No theme.
It's a surprise to you, isn't it? It doesn't have a theme.
No theme.
It's just going to be cuttings. Yeah.
Oh, like some gardening and stuff.
No, you'll find out next week. All right, I'm not going to go into detail now, but
Cuttings.
yeah, you'll see next week.
Because it's cutting edge.
It is cutting edge, but it's for a different reason, multiple meanings.
Send us a letter. Don't send us a lettuce.
Don't fucking send us a lettuce. That's right. I know you'd like to laugh and make that your catchphrase.
Send lettuces and call Cobley a bellend.
Matt and Cobley's podcast, doo-be-doo-be-doo. Matt and Cobley's podcast, doo-be-doo-be-doo. Guten Abend, Professor Lamplicht. Precisely on time again, I see.
I find it very difficult to tolerate people that are early, just as I am revolted by those that are late, Professor Wurst.
I'm very grateful for you coming at this late hour, Professor Lamplicht. I have things to discuss. Things that I could not say on the telephone. Please, sit down. Jägermeister.
Dankeschön, Professor Wurst. Hospitable as ever. Now, what is it you would like to discuss with me?
As you know, I've been working on the experiment for the past 7 years. Progress over the first 6 of those years. Nicht so gut. But since you, Professor Lamplicht, joined the Institute, my work has quickly accelerated.
I'm aware of my contributions to the experiment, Wurst, but what did you wish to discuss?
Voles.
Voles?
In the early days, our experiments were purely theoretical. We would take voles from the woodlands and we would attach diodes upon their tiny vole temples. We would show them pictures of other voles, pictures of different ducks, and we would show them pictures of the experimenter himself. All the time, whilst showing them the pictures, we would administer pain. We would monitor the voles' brain waves and their fluctuations under the influence of pain. It wasn't long before the levels of pain had been increased far beyond the tolerance levels of the humble vole, pushed to an as yet undiscovered level of pain, far beyond death itself.
Get on with it, man.
It was at this point, at this level of pain, that we first observed the change. I did not think we could move beyond such a small and primitive creature as the vole. But with your collaboration, Herr Lamplicht, we have done just this. We have induced untold levels of pain upon far greater things. The dolphin, the badger, and even the noble walrus. I can't even begin to express my gratitude for your work, for all you have done, your magnificent mind. Well,
I drive all these miles for you to thank me? You're telling me nothing that I don't already know. Nothing at all. You're wasting my time, Sherbet Wurst. I'm leaving. Good day to you.
no, Professor Lamplicht, wait, please. I implore you, wait. I'm ready. I'm ready for the next phase. That's the reason I called you here.
The next phase? The next phase, Wurst. We are years from that kind of breakthrough.
Are we?
Don't toy with me, man.
For a long time now, you and I have mused upon the idea of adapting the experiment, changing it in such a way that the pain might be delivered to a human subject until they change.
But the calculations alone would take years.
I have done the calculations.
I must see. Hand me the papers. Hand me the papers.
Last night, I had the most horrible nightmare. demons whispering to my ear, tearing off my skin as they danced in fire. I awoke, and it came to me, exactly as the demon in my dream had told me.
This is magnificent. Magnificent, man.
All that remains is to secure our human subject. But who would be crazy enough to go through with such a thing?
We couldn't just kidnap someone. The authorities would be alerted. We live in a time where the advances of science are stifled by ignorant governments that are more concerned about the lives of the worthless than the progress of intellect. I fear our plans may not progress past these remarkable calculations, Vorst.
What we need is some kind of idiot.
What is that noise?
The door! But I haven't invited anyone.
Who could be coming here at this time? Have you been seeing Nurse Gretel again?
Nine, relax. I shall get rid of them.
Hello, is this science headquarters?
It is, but we are not accepting visitors at this time. Please, be on your way.
Oh, but wait, I've got something important to tell you. It's about the star constellations.
I'm afraid you'll have to come back another day. Please leave.
No, but wait, it's important. It's a star. I had a talk about it with my friend Cobley.
Wait, Professor Vorst, don't be so rude to our guest, please. Little boy, come in. Come in and take a seat.
Yes. Come in. The constellations, yes, very fascinating. Please, do go on. I am Professor Sherbert Vorst, and this is my esteemed colleague, Professor Heinz Lamplicht.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
I'm Matt Cornah from Matt and Cobley's podcast. We've been doing some science on our show, and I have made an amazing discovery about the stars.
Interesting. Sit down in that chair.
Thanks.
Now tell me all about the constellations.
Vorst, get the equipment ready. Do it now. Yes.
Huh?
Don't worry yourself, little boy. The professor just needed to use the lavatory. Now, you were saying?
Yes, well, we were doing a show about science, and during one of our conversations, we discovered something about the star constellations in the sky. Did you know you can just make them up? You can take the stars and you can make your own pictures out of it. Oh, what are these restraint things?
Don't worry, little boy. They're just comfort bracelets for your comfort. Do continue.
Comfort bracelets. Very luxurious. So I've invented a new constellation. I've got it on this piece of paper, actually. It's a jam jar. You see that bit at the top? That's the lid. This bit at the side, that's the little picture of the little boy that goes on
I've
jam jars.
returned from feeding the dog.
Shut up, you fool!
Huh?
That is just German slang for going for a, what do you say, piss.
Yes. I fed that dog with my piss.
And what's all that scientific apparatus?
Don't worry yourself about that. We're more interested in what you have to say. Professor Vorst, this little boy was telling me about his desire to name a new star constellation after his most favorite jam jar.
What a wonderful idea. Hold still, please.
Oh, sorry. Well, I've got other ideas about constellations as well, you know. I just think I should start with the jam jar. I should start with that.
Fascinating. I can't wait to hear all of your ideas. Now, we're going to show you a picture of a vole.
What do you feel?
Well, I don't feel... Ow!
I think this experiment is going to go very well, Professor Vorst. Very well indeed. Alles klar.
Matt and Cobley's podcast.